A compendium of the Bible, the study of the book of Zephaniah. As with each of the 12 minor prophets, the prophecy bears the name of its author, which is generally thought to mean the Lord hides, according to chapter 2, verse 3. Little is known about the author of Zephaniah. 3 other Old Testament individuals share his name. He traces his genealogy back 4 generations to King Hezekiah from 715 to 686 BC. Standing alone among the prophets, descended from royal blood. Chapter 1, verse 1. Royal genealogy would give him the ear of Judah's king, Josiah, during whose reign he preached. The prophet himself dates his message during the reign of Josiah, 640 to 609 BC. The moral and spiritual conditions detailed in the book, according to chapter 1, verses 4 through 6, chapter 3, verses 1 through 7, seem to play the prophecy prior to Josiah's reform, when Judah was still caught up in idolatry and wickedness. It was in 628 BC that Josiah tore down all the altars of Baal, burned the bones of false prophets, and broke the carven idols. 2 Chronicles chapter 34, verse 3 and 7. And in 622 BC, the book of the law was formed. 2 Chronicles chapter 34, verse 8 through chapter 35, verse 19. Zephaniah most likely prophesied from 635 to 625 BC and was a contemporary of Jeremiah. Zephaniah's message on the day of the Lord warned Judah that the final days were near through divine judgment at the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, 605 to 586 BC, according to chapter 1, verse 4 through 13. Yet it also looked beyond the for fulfillment in the judgment of Daniel, 7 weeks. Chapter 1, verse 18 through chapter 3, verse 8. The expression, day of the Lord, is employed by the author more often than by any other Old Testament writer, and is described as a day that is near darkness, trumpets, and alarm. Chapter 1, verse 15, 16, and 18. Yet, even within these oracles of divine wrath, the prophet exhorted the people to seek the Lord, offering a shelter in the midst of judgment. Chapter 2, verse 3, and proclaiming the promise of eventually that would lead to salvation for his believing and supporting the remnant. The remnant must believe in their God. Chapter 2, verse 7. Chapter 3, verse 9 through 20. The book denunciates sin and warns against impending judgment on Judah. Some have referred the phrase, I will restore, to the people a pure language, chapter 3, verse 9, to the restoration of a universal language, similar to the days prior to confusion of languages at the Tower of Babylon. Genesis chapter 11, verse 1 through 9. They point out that the word language is also used in Genesis chapter 11, verse 7. It is better, however, to understand the passage as pointing to a purification of heart and life. This is confirmed by the content in chapter 3, verse 13, and corroborate by the fact of the word language is most common translated lip. When combined with pure, the reference to speech speaks of inward cleaning from sin. Isaiah chapter 6, verse 5. Manifest in speech. Matthew 12:34, including the removal of the names of false gods from their lips. Hosea chapter 2, verse 17. It does not imply a one-world language. This concludes the overview of the book of Zephaniah.